Hi, I'm Dr. Craig Chalquist. Today is the fall equinox 2022, and I have just launched a website I designed called worldread.org. So I want to tell you a little bit about it. It comes out of my PhD work in philosophy, cosmology, and consciousness. So in working on this second PhD in the area of philosophy, I noticed that one of the things that's been up for me for some time is that because of my psychological background, I've tended to use psychology as my own version of a wisdom path, even when it pinches a bit. So the more philosophy I learn, the more I realize that really what I'm embarking on is a philosophical quest. But mainstream abstract Western philosophy doesn't really do it for me. I don't like big systems and big theories. I grew up in the Christian church, and what they did there was give us big systems and not theories so much as doctrines and dogmas. But what was similar between the two is this overemphasis, I think, on absolute truth. We have to know what the truth is. Truth with a capital T. And I'm always wondering why. What's always inspired me is fiction and then anecdotes of personal bravery, achievement, accomplishment, relatedness. Not doctrine. Never been a doctrine person. I don't need dogmas. I don't need authorities telling me what to do. I'm an adult. I can figure that out for myself. So psychology was kind of wearing thin. I still practice my own version of teaching psychology, depth psychology in particular. But it tends to put everything back inside us. It tends to see everything in terms of what's going on in here. And that's a severe limitation, especially in times like ours, where there is a lot going on out in the world. There always has been, but this time that we live in is more dire than other times for a lot of reasons. So I was running up against the limits of that paradigm and against the limits of religion and against the limits of philosophy. So what I sat with was, what would a path that involves some kind of deep re-enchantment, some reanimation of my relationship with myself and with other people, with the world, the elements, even the cosmos. What would that look like if it was done from a spirit of embodied practice and even playing creativity? Why does a wisdom path have to be super serious all the time? For me, it doesn't. Why can't it be about inspiring? Why can't it pull me toward future visions of the kind of communities I would like to live in, instead of pushing me from behind with a lot of shoulds and oughts? So this path of imagination, which is an interpretive path that sees things out in the world as symbols, this is what I refer to as world read. And for those of you who like the technical term better, I've also been calling it for a number of years Terranosis. And now with my doctoral work, I get a chance to really go into the scholarship and develop it, but translate it for the public into something relatively simple to understand and practice. Hence the website, which has a lot of resources. It has some of my writings, mostly in the form of blogs, about different aspects of storytelling, imagination, how the deep psyche interacts with the natural world, and other related topics. So you'll find the blogs there. You will find an image gallery that has my own photography, but also some sketches I made of fictional characters from my stories. And I have written a collection of stories called Tales of Terranea Rising. It's speculative fiction, so it's got some science fiction, some fantasy, and other things mixed in with it. And I wrote it because I was interested in the journey of humanity toward maturity. What does it actually look like all the way down the line? Who were the key characters? And what were the archetypal forces the great existential themes, the primordial images behind the conflicts they faced off against. And so assembling Terranea Rising is set all over the world in different locations. And it charts our path toward the kind of just and delightful and fully mature and fully human civilization I think we're capable of. So one of the things I hope will come out of this World Read site, worldread.org, is I'd like to pull together a network of practitioners I have worked with personally over the years in many different fields that relate to world reading, reading the symbolism of the world, reading the parallels between things going on out there and things happening inside us, our moods, our dreams, our conflicts, which accurately reflect what's going on out there. So I'm contacting people who are colleagues and friends who do parapsychology, dream work, body work, mythological and folklore work, all kinds of different things, psychological practitioners. And there's no formal business arrangement here. I'm going to put a page up that basically says, here are the mentors of world reading. Reach out to them. Some will offer things for free, as I occasionally do, and some are paid offerings because we have to make a living. But for the most part, this site will be dedicated to offering free resources for building your own creative wisdom path that honors place and earth and ancestry and family and a number of other things that are interwoven and important for us to recognize. It also has resources for storytelling, because I think one of the most effective things that any of us can do to have a good impact on the times that we live in is to inspire each other, is to give each other a sense of hope when we're feeling hopeless and helpless. And so I've assembled some free storytelling resources at the website and made them available. You can download them from different pages at the site. I know from my own experience that sometimes in my life, when things have looked very bleak and I just haven't felt capable of stepping up, sometimes a little bit of support and an anecdote or a myth or a folktale or a piece of science fiction or a piece of art or dance or movement even that lifts me up a little bit and inspires me can get me going in the right direction. So a lot of this site is about that too. On my YouTube channel, I'm going to be putting up a number of videos on different aspects of world reading, interpreting the things of the world in a way that re-enchants our relationship with the world. Already, you're going to find quite a bit of footage, all of it free, on different aspects of world reading as I have practiced it over the years, even before I had a name for it. So you're going to find resources on YouTube for things like Gnosticism, which I've taught in higher ed as a wisdom path. You're going to find parapsychological inquiry resources for getting to know the presence of the places that we occupy and live in and work in. And there's all kinds of other videos dealing with different aspects of a re-enchanted embodied life. So a lot of those may not say world reading on them, but that's what my work is about. That's been one of the beautiful realizations of this path, is that I've come to understand that all my adult life, and actually a big part of my childhood, I've been doing world reading without knowing what to call it. So you'll see that in YouTube, and then on the video page at World Reading, it gives a link to the YouTube channel, but it's also going to have other videos specifically on world reading. So there will be a lot there, and I'm very happy to be able to announce it. I really hope you get a lot out of the site, and let me know what your impressions are. Thanks so much.